Today on Hidden Secrets Revealed Live, major crypto merger. This partnership includes contributions from Tether and Bitfinex. Strikes Jack Mallers will be CEO. Is this a clone of Michael Saylor's strategy? HSRL is a production of Safe New Media. Before you keep watching, I want to share with you my why. I started my podcast to cope with imposter syndrome and ended up building a business. Now I help others find their voice and turn it into a creative asset, which inspires me to share with you something new we cooked up. It's called the Anti-Impostor Podcast Starter Kit. Everything you need to start your podcast, feel confident, and sound amazing. Even if you think you have no idea what you're doing, you can get your copy free at SAFENEW.MEDIA. SAFENEW.MEDIA. Do you know the characteristics of a self-actualizer? You may be one if you hold efficient perceptions of reality. You are correct and honest in the way you judge situations. You're alerted by the superficial and dishonest. You strive for self fulfillment. You have unique characteristics. These characteristics give you an accurate perception of reality. You engage in meaningful pursuits outside of yourself. That's who this show is for. Self actualizers. We are agents of progress, making the most of our lives. We don't go to work out of necessity for a paycheck. We have meaning and purpose. HSRL is the only podcast of its kind right now on this subject going live on X. Therefore, the most popular live stream podcast live right now on this subject going live on X. It's not for you, sweetheart, if you take yourself too seriously. If you are a seeker, let me be your guide to discover accurate truth for yourself. Let me help you increase the quality and effectiveness of your life by revealing to you the hidden secrets of the universe. This show is specifically for those who are seeking new perspectives, fresh ideas, and a willingness to explore new possibilities. My intention is to help investors like you stay ahead of the curve and make the most out of emerging opportunities. Today on HSRL, 21 Capital is a Bitcoin investment company. It's merging with Cantor Equity Partners, a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC. Cantor Fitzgerald is the sponsor of Cantor Equity Partners. Now, this transaction values the combined entity at $3.6 billion. They structured the deal as a reverse merger, which allows 21 Capital to become a publicly traded company. So they did this through a reverse merger. That's when a private company becomes public by fusing with a public shell. It's kind of like sneaking into a nightclub by duct taping yourself to the bouncer. Totally legal, highly confusing. Wall Street loves it. It's like an IPO, but make it a prank. It's like a financial backdoor to NASDAQ. But here's the twist. It's not a merger. It's Bitcoin cosplaying as a real company. They're sneaking 42,000 Bitcoins onto the stock market like a kid hiding candy in a textbook. Upon completion, the new entity will be one of the largest public holders of Bitcoin globally. They're launching with more than 42,000 Bitcoins. They will be the third largest Bitcoin treasury among public companies. You know what's wild? 21 Capital is now the third largest corporate holder of Bitcoin. Third. You know who's first? Strategy. Not a strategy, just strategy. That's the name of Michael Saylor's company. Feels less like a business and more like a dude who sells NFTs out of a van. and says things like, buy low, meditate high. They're like, we've got more Bitcoin than a hacker's hard drive. But here's the kicker, they're raising $585 million dollars to buy even more Bitcoin. It's like a dragon hoarding gold, except the dragon's wearing a suit and yelling "HODL" at shareholder meetings. Let's talk about the key participants and ownership structure, okay? Tether is the world's largest stablecoin issuer. Tether will be the majority owner of 21 Capital. They're contributing $1.6 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin to the venture. Tether is the world's most opaque stablecoin company. That means they handed over $1.6 billion dollars in Bitcoin and said, yeah, we're the adults in the room now. You know that sketchy cousin of yours, the one who invested your Christmas money into Beanie Babies? Now she's running your retirement fund. But in this metaphor, your sketchy cousin is Tether. They're like, we're stable, but we're also crazy for crypto. But get this, Tether trades their stable coins. Doesn't that make Bitcoin the unstable coin? It's like swapping a Prius for a rocket ship with no brakes. They're not investing, they're gambling, but with extra steps. Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange affiliated with Tether. They will also be a majority owner, contributing 600 six wait, $600 million dollars. So Bitfinex tossed in $600 million dollars. Why not? At this point, the crypto space is like Thanksgiving dinner, where everyone's past the mashed potatoes and also the corporate governance. SoftBank Group is the Japanese technology investment giant. They will hold a significant minority stake, contributing $900 million dollars. They're like, we've backed WeWork. Now we're backing Bitcoin. But hold up, SoftBank could be swapping one bad bet for another. First, they rented out overpriced offices. Next thing you know, they're buying digital coins that might tank faster than a WeWork keg party. It's not a pivot, it's a midlife crisis because nothing screams secure investment like handing $1 billion to Jack Mallers. That guy looks like he codes with one hand and shakes his fist at central banks with the other. Jack Mallers is co founder of 21 Capital and CEO. He's known for his work with Strike. He will lead the company. Jack Mallers says, we're not here to beat the market, we're here to build a new one, which is a polite way of saying, we didn't read the rules, so we're making up our own. That's not a financial strategy. That's a monopoly move, my friends. I don't pay rent on Boardwalk. I own Bitcoin now. Cantor Fitzgerald is sponsor of Cantor Equity Partners. Now, this SPAC is facilitating the public listing. Cantor Equity Partners will maintain a strategic partnership role. Yeah, that Cantor Fitzgerald. You know, the bond trading legend. They're like the dad who got invited to Burning Man and is really trying to vibe with the crypto kids. Yeah, totally, man. I also hodl. Now, who wants to tokenize some treasuries? They're like, we're Wall Street pros and we're cool with crypto. But here's the deal, they're swapping one treasury for another. They went from handling Tether's boring bonds to babysitting their Bitcoin piggy bank. It's not a partnership, it's a babysitting gig. Let's talk about the financial structure and capital raise. The $3.6 billion valuation is based on a Bitcoin spot price of approximately 85,000 as of April 21st, 2025. By the way, we're recording this live on April 23rd, 2025. We will look back at this and laugh at me. So there's more information about the assets contributed by Tether, Bitfinex, and SoftBank. 21 Capital will raise $585 million dollars in additional capital. They raised $585 million dollars to buy more Bitcoin. That's like refinancing your house to buy more scratch offs. And when your wife asks why, you yell, for the algorithm, honey. $385 million dollars will be In convertible senior secured notes. $200 million will be in a common equity PIPE financing. PIPE is an acronym for private investment in public equity. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Guess how they plan to allocate the net proceeds from these financings? They'll use proceeds to purchase more Bitcoin and for general corporate purposes, which makes you wonder about their strategic vision and products. They've structured 21 Capital as a Bitcoin native company. So their aim is to increase Bitcoin per share for its investors. The company plans to develop financial products built on Bitcoin, such as native lending models. They will also ship capital market instruments and produce original Bitcoin focused media. Performance metrics will include Bitcoin per share and Bitcoin return rate, which reflects the company's focus on maximizing shareholder exposure to Bitcoin. They're like, forget profits, we're counting coins. But get this, their whole business model is dividing their Bitcoin stash by shares outstanding. It's not a company, it's a math problem with a press release. Performance metric, Bitcoin per share. Imagine telling Warren Buffett about your key KPI. See, Warren, it's how it's how many imaginary coins you stacked in a wallet you lost the password to. His head would spin so hard it would launch a dividend. Of course, there are institutional and market implications, right? The implications. See, the market sees this deal as a major signal. We're talking about growing institutional and mainstream financial interest in cryptocurrencies, right? Bitcoin being the primary. The partnership leverages long-standing relationships between Cantor, Fitzgerald, and Tether. Cantor is managing a significant portion of Tether's US Treasury reserves. Now, this venture draws inspiration from the success of MicroStrategy. Now, Strategy holds the largest corporate Bitcoin treasury. Strategy's market value has surged with Bitcoin's price appreciation, which makes you wonder what the next steps and approvals are. The boards of both 21 and Cantor Equity Partners, they've granted unanimous approval of the transaction. It's subject to shareholder approval and customary closing conditions. Now, upon closing, this is how the shares will transition from trading under CEP, Cantor Equity Partners, to XXI, 21 Capital on NASDAQ. And the ticker, they're switching to XXI, 21. Nothing says we understand modern finance like naming your billion-dollar company after a blackjack hand. Jack Mallers, CEO of 21 Capital, says, "We're not here to beat the market. We're here to build a new one, a public stock built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners." Sounds like a preacher at a crypto revival. But here's the real sermon. He's building a market where the only product is more Bitcoin. It's like opening a bakery that only sells flour and says, "Bake it yourself, hodlers." Jack Mallers is out here preaching Bitcoin like it's the second coming, while their financial products sound like NFTs with better branding. Paolo Arduino, CEO of Tether, says, "With Jack at the helm, we are proud to support this effort to further Bitcoin's adoption and reinforce its role as the ultimate store of value." 21 Capital isn't a company. It's a Bitcoin fan club with a NASDAQ ticker. Tether and Bitfinex are like crypto mob bosses bankrolling their buddy's pipe dream. SoftBank's just here for the FOMO, and Cantor's the designated adult who forgot how to say no. The whole thing's a reverse merger of hype and hubris. They're betting $3.6 billion that Bitcoin's the future. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to find junk around the house I can sell to stack more sats. The whole thing is such a perfect circle of irony. You've got stablecoins buying volatile coins. They launch a public company that measures value in the thing it just bought so they can raise money to buy more of that thing, which is then used to build a market that doesn't exist yet, but will totally disrupt the one we already have. It's not a company, it's a startup wrapped in a riddle baked inside a Dutch tulip bulb, sponsored by your uncle's poker night, and it's worth $3.6 billion. That's my time. I got to get back to work. Share this, retweet on X, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that little subscribe button and pummel that notification bell into submission. You're allowed to make fun of me only if your jokes are funny and you get my name right. Now, you don't have to visit my X profile to learn more. It's not necessary to follow me on X, but now you can follow Safe New Media on X. I mean, Twitter or whatever you call it. Team up with me to bring about serious advancement for each other. The plan is for our community to share with each other the systems, the processes, and workflows that we are successfully using in order to help each other grow. So I do invite you to belong higher, join our self-actualizer community. The official page of this show is safenewmedia.com/HSRL. You can get your copy of the Anti-Impostor podcast starter kit at SAFENEW.MEDIA. That's SAFENEW.MEDIA. What I'm about to tell you next will shock you.
This is not an offer, solicitation of an offer to buy or sell securities. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Investing involves risk and may result in partial or total loss. Prospective investors should carefully consider investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and should consult with a tax or legal advisor before making any investment decision.
Do your own research. This is not financial advice, nor is this any sort of general solicitation to the public for anything at this time. We don't need more money. What we're looking for is to trade up the investors we have for a better class of investors, accredited investors only. We're improving quality of life at scale for hardworking families. My team and I are looking for capital partners, brokers, and motivated sellers. Secure your place on our waitlist. Go to Inveresta.com. When you do, you will receive our investing criteria. This is the data that we use to determine where to invest. Okay, this is for multifamily real estate. By the way, don't lose money investing in the wrong location. What's the most important thing in real estate? There's three of the most important things: location, location, location. How do you know what location qualifies as an emerging market? Most real estate people tell you to invest in your backyard. What if your backyard is a terrible location? Avoid losing money in a bad location. Pay attention to the data. There are many data points to be aware of. Okay, no one has time to look at everything all at once. You have to separate the signal from the noise. There are 5 data points that matter most. Listen, here's number 1, population growth. Number 2, median household income. Number 3, median house or condo value. Number 4, change in crime level. Number 5, job growth. Great. What do you do with that? You need to know exactly what percentage of population growth over a specific duration of time. You need to know what percentage of median household income over a specific duration of time. You need to know exactly what percentage of median household or condo value over a specific duration of time. You need to know what change in crime level to look for. The most important factor is job growth. You need to know exactly what percentage of job growth. Avoid buying property in a location with negative job growth. Avoid buying property where population is transitory. For example, Odessa, Texas, Ocean City, New Jersey. We give away the data that we use to find emerging markets, and we give it to you for free when you secure your place on our wait list today. Hit me up on our X profile at Inveresta. Retail investors can send me a DM there to let me know what kind of investment opportunities you are looking for. Accredited investors can get in touch with me today. Call my office. Go to Inveresta.com. Accredited investors only. This is not an offer or solicitation to the general public. Last last thing I want to give you is an invitation to subscribe to Methods of Prosperity newsletter, also called the Billionaire Letters. This is for anyone who agrees that success leaves clues and it's possible to learn from history. Methods of Prosperity newsletter is intended to share ideas and build relationships. To become a billionaire, one must first be conditioned to think like a billionaire. To that agenda, this newsletter studies remarkable people in history who demonstrated what to do and what not to do. You can now subscribe for free at SAFENEWMEDIA.com/newsletter. Thanks for making this the most popular live stream at this hour, broadcasting on X, formerly known as Twitter. Hidden Secrets Revealed Live is a production of Safe New Media, unconventional, diversified, global digital media company devoted to the practice, administration, and the dissemination of the ideologies of its founder, moi, yours truly. My name is Sean Allen Fenn. I like you, but don't take my word for it. Decide for yourself.